Back, anti-government protesters continue to occupy a number of buildings at a wildlife refuge just outside of Burns, Oregon. The group first marched the streets of Burns Saturday to protest a federal judge's decision to send rancher Dwight Hammond and his son Stephen back to prison to serve more time for an arson charge they had already served time for. Well, hours later, they then took over a building at a wildlife refuge, saying their message is now to fight for everyone's constitutional rights. Jennifer Dowling goes beyond the headlines with more.
These are some of the buildings that protesters have taken over. I'd say there are about 20 on this complex, and they've settled in. They're saying that they're not afraid to use force if the government tries to get them out.
These are some of the buildings. Over here is the garages.
Protesters at the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge gave us a tour of the now occupied headquarters.
There is a wonderful cook shack. That's where they fix the meals. And
inside a kitchen, we found one of the members making soup.
Thanks. Try to warm them up. Sorry.
Others showing us their sleeping quarters.
Real comfortable. You know, they got showers and it's like a giant dorm, college dorm, I suppose.
It's cold, and so we do use the buildings to stay warm and out of the weather.
This grandpa from Arizona, Lavoy Finicum, was involved with the Bundy Ranch standoff, in which Ammon Bundy's father, Cliven, and armed protesters clashed with law enforcement.
This is the way we found it, and this is the way we'll leave it.
He says they're making a point to tread lightly on this property. Do you just have a code of conduct, or what do you do?
Oh, you try to just be respectful, be a good neighbor, don't tear anything up.
As for how they got in,
well, I don't want to say this, but I'll say it. There's a whole stack of keys.
You found a stack of keys.
Yeah, I didn't, but there's keys to every place there. So no doors are broken. You can see there's no kicked in doors, no broken windows, no vandalism.
Was the keys accessible?
I didn't find them. It was someone else.
But things do get serious when it comes to security. At this encampment, there are details watching above in towers and also folks surveying on the grounds. Ammon Bundy, the leader of this takeover, spoke today with a Constitution in his pocket.
Now this refuge here is rightfully owned by the people.
He said they decided to take over the property because he claims this refuge has been trying to push ranchers out, including the Hammonds, violating their rights.
The ranch is adjacent to the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge and to have private property up on the Steen Mountains. They have refused for nearly 40 years to sell their ranch. And there have been very vindictive behaviors because they refuse. There have been intimidations, and the list goes on.
If the federal government decides to use force, will you respond with force as well?
That would have to be determined at that time. I would not be able to report on that.
Are you prepared to?
Absolutely.
They're also asking others to come to join them in taking a stand.
Well, we are asking people to come. We need you to come because we need to be united and we need to have a strong defense. That's the way we can make sure that there is no lives that are lost here. And I will be very clear, we will not be aggressive.
You have a cook shack, you have a bunkhouse, and you're inviting other people to come here.
Yes.
How will you screen them, or are you allowing anyone to come in?
We're not about restriction. We're about freedom. We're about transparency, openness. So come.
As for how they will survive, Ammon says supplies will be coming in from donations all over the country. He said a load came in last night. In Princeton, Jennifer Dowling, KOIN 6 News.
And KOIN 6 will stay on top of this story and bring you updates on air and online at KOIN.com.